I have a project today, and I'm making something for someone of whom I just hate so much. Now, I didn't record everything, as my goal wasn't to make a documentary, but I did record some of the process. I wanted to 3D print a music box, so I started out where most things start out, on a workbench drafting. After taking the measurements, I realized I need to use some real CAD software. I use Tinkercad, but it's a little too simple, and I also use Blender, but it's not really quite the best for 3D printing, so I tried Fusion 360. Honestly, Fusion 360 is pretty good, but learning new software in general is usually a frustrating experience.
I'm gonna commit a fucking hate crime. Oh.
And it took me quite a few versions to get the final product, sadly. But eventually got the design down and I figured out what I wanted. But I was stuck between hinges and a lid, and I printed out these little lads here to see which one I felt more comfortable with. I really wanted the hinges, but I actually skipped the math requirements in my engineering course, so I wasn't the most learnt in math. So figuring out what I needed was kind of a hassle, but eventually I feel like I got it. So next I put a decal that the Thot liked on the box. She told me she liked this image, so I reverse searched it and I was able to find the image, and then I popped that bad boy down in Inkscape because I really hate the Adobe products. After getting the logo in place, I started to print out some stencils because I really wanted to get a feel of the size, because I want to make it as small as possible while you can still comfortable to actually use the music box. After getting the size that I wanted down, that was to actually start printing the project, which funny enough would take 15 plus hours if nothing went wrong. Now might I reiterate, that's if nothing goes wrong. So with the first lid printed, I realized that the supports weren't actually enough, and it caused the lines to actually sag down. And I tried to salvage it, but then I realized it was just too much work, lost cause. Then I printed the logo flush with the base, and then I actually couldn't remove the supports, which is the 3 little bears in the porridge, too hot, too cold, get fucked kind of situation.
Who is a wanker? Supports my ass. I can't get him out, you fucking piece of shit.
I'm the kind of guy who has a plan A, B, and C, and I've already considered that I might just have to print the logo separately and glue it on there. But now I gotta add a base of logo, or the glue would just seep through the holes, so I gotta redesign that. And then I had a part fail, which was kind of gamer.
Look at this cripple. Look at what? How does that even happen?
Eventually all the parts are printed, and then it's time for the sanding. 180, 240, 320, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 1500, 2500, 3000. At first I tried wrapping on sticks, but then I realized the box is hand size, so I might as well just hold the paper flat and just go for it. After that I sprayed it with this 2-part spray and then sanded again, starting from 1000 and 300, and I repeated that 3 times. And the project was pretty smooth and fairly shiny afterwards, but I still added some of these deep lines all over the print. So I used Bondo and I rubbed it with my finger, and even though it looks funny, it was pretty smooth. Meanwhile, while the parts are drying, I have some balsa wood and I printed out a stencil, and I got an X-Acto knife and I cut it out the shapes I needed, sanded the edge, and I slapped that bad boy in the hole where it belongs. Though I should have waited till I painted, but fuck it. Next I started painting to make it look nicer. I'm not really a big painters guy, but the bitch said she liked purple, so I made it purple. I wasn't really happy with how I painted the logo, but I wanted to get it out on a certain date, so I just went with it. Grabbed a really strong adhesive agent, put the logo on, spray painted it with the protective coat, and then you got a device to hopefully ruin some bitch's life.